Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another segment of WorshipStream TV 2026. I am really excited to be joined by Kyle Fisher from Kiloview. Hi, Kyle. How are you doing today?
Hi, James. Thank you for having me. My name is Kyle Fisher. I represent Kiloview, and I'm based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That is great. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today?
Sure, yeah. I just wanted to give you an overview of Kiloview, a few of our different offerings, some things that we can offer for House of Worship, and why we're a good fit in this space.
Okay, and that is great. So, since we're talking about Kiloview in houses of worship, can you introduce us to Kiloview in general first?
Absolutely, sure, yeah. Kiloview's been around a while. The company is at least 14, 15 years old in that space. And we manufacture, build, support a wide range of video converters and adapters for moving video around, transmitting it from location to location, streaming up to Facebook and YouTube. We have a recorder, we have multi-viewers, so basically a lot of options, a lot of customization, a lot of features for our products that have gotten very mature over time.
I couldn't agree more. And we're going to go into a deep dive into some of these products. So, um, why don't you tell us a little bit about Kiloview's commitment to the houses of worship?
Absolutely, sure. Yeah, so couple options that we have for House of Worship and why we're committed to this space is because, first of all, our options are professional grade and also very affordable. Uh, One thing that we're able to do versus our competitors is get our products at a very affordable cost. We have an excellent support team, and we do offer training courses. We have various YouTube videos and tutorials available online. And, you know, again, we've been around a long time. Our solutions have a good support community. A lot of people know us, and, that's just part of our commitment.
I think that is absolutely true. You know, we are big fans of the Kiloview products. We use an N60 in our workflow on an almost daily basis to convert some of our older cameras into an NDI workflow. So couldn't agree more with that. Let's talk about some of the reasons why streaming matters in a house of worship. And this has been something that we're talking about throughout this entire event. But can you give us Kiloview's perspective on why streaming matters in houses of worship?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is kind of the world that we live in, right? Ever since 2020, and everybody was watching videos from home, attending church services, temple services, house of worship services from home. So streaming has just kind of become more and more integral to how these places function. You could be streaming up to a platform such as Facebook or YouTube, or you could have your own website and embed your feed right into their custom. And so we build products that help empower those solutions behind the scenes.
No, I think that's great. And you know, one thing that we've been talking about a lot throughout this event also is not only using the something like a NDI decoder for streaming or encoder for streaming, but using decoders to spread the stream throughout the local building or potentially remote buildings as well. So it's not just for the people that are going to be watching online, but also for the people that are in the building, but maybe in a different room. So I think that is great. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the solutions that Kiloview offers?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A couple examples come to mind. You brought up excellent point about multiple destinations within the building. Of course, a lot of these places might have a nursery, where the moms are hanging out during the service, or there might be additional classrooms. There could be a basement or a lower level. There could be satellite locations. So we have solutions for all those different needs. So whether it's there in the building, you might go all NDI, or if you're going to a satellite location, you need an encoder and a decoder. So you need those two pieces of equipment, and it would be streaming pretty much real time, real close to real time. Obviously the technology has come a long way. And because of that, we're able to get the latency down. And we can also do cool things like multi-views. We can do picture in picture if you want like the presentation little and the speaker up big, or you can swap them, have the speaker little and the presentation big. So there's a lot of flexibility as well. Hmm.
Absolutely. Let's start talking about some of these different solutions. We're talking about multi-destination streaming workflows. Can you walk us through this diagram here of using something like a TriCaster and then an E3 and sending it to your multiple destinations?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a sample of one of these boxes here. This is what it looks like. This is an E3. This is one of our most popular encoders. And the cool thing about it is so powerful and so flexible. It has both SDI and HDMI in. And so you're able to bring in one or two inputs and then send them up to 8 different destinations. So you could go Facebook, YouTube, your own website, Vimeo, a couple other websites, or it could go other destinations or throughout the building. So it's just a really, really, really powerful device. Additionally, on top of all of that, it also has recording. So you could plug in a USB drive and record your stream at the same time. So that's just like an all-in-one box that does basically everything, your house of worship might need.
Yeah, no, and I think it's great to mention that you can go up to so many different destinations because people are watching on so many different platforms. Like you said, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Vimeo. Sometimes a house of worship has their own website that they want to be able to stream directly to. So to be able to do that with from multiple devices, whether it's HDMI or SDI, in one solution is just great. Can you tell us a little bit about this diagram where we're using a couple different cameras and into an E3 and then sending it to something like a D350?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, um, I actually have an example comes to mind. I talked to a customer a couple months ago. He had a camera above the stage for baptisms, and
Hmm.
so he wanted to be able to record the baptisms from an overhead view. And the camera was older; it didn't support NDI, so he put one of our NDI encoders on it to bring it into his production. Um, what you see here on the slide, it's slightly different, but you could pull in a camera, run it on one of our encoders, could be an E3, could be one of our NDI encoders, and then that video would get transported across the network to a decoder on the other side. So it's basically a sender and a receiver. The receiver can output to, for example, a projector, could be a big TV, or it could be a multi-view of a multiple different cameras or angles stitched together all on one screen. So very powerful devices that are reliable and robust as well.
Yeah, I think that is great. And the fact that you offer not just the encoders, but the decoders, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, you offer devices that do both encoding and decoding. So that is great. Can you tell us a little bit more about the D350 specifically?
Yeah, the D350 is our high-end SRT and RTMP decoder. So it has support for a lot of different IP protocols, and it has multiple outputs. It has HDMI output, it has SDI output, and this is the one that can do multi-view as well. So it could do up to, for example, 1080p 60 content pushing out into a multi-view, or if it's 720p or lower, you could do 4, 6, 9, make a 9 box and have a whole bunch of cameras that you're monitoring or video feeds.
Wow, that is very, very cool. The next thing that I want to talk about is mobile live streaming, and that's becoming very popular in houses of worship, whether they're on mission trips or things like that. Can you kind of walk us through that kind of workflow and the solutions that Kiloview offers in that?
Yeah. So we have a device called the P3, and we have a smaller one called the P3 Mini. And what they are is they are mobile encoders. They're for going over a cellular network or
Hmm.
multiple cellular networks. And they would be great, for example, for retreats or, like you said, mission trips. Could be other special events where there isn't good infrastructure or good connectivity, and you want to stream it live. You could stream it back to your church, or back to the house of worship, for example, or it could go again directly up to an online platform for streaming. And it would allow excellent engagement real time, right? So as you're streaming, it'd be going off to a receiving destination, and all this would be happening real time. So we have a couple products involved in this. We have the P3 and the P3 Mini. Um, and then we also have something called the Kilolink station, which I'll touch on in just a
Which
moment.
we'll get to in
Yeah.
just a moment here. So, of course, we have the P3 and the P3 Mini. Can you tell us some of the similarities between the two devices and then what sets them apart?
Yeah, so they're very similar devices, similar hardware on the inside. One's just the little one, and then the bigger brother. So the little one has three SIM slots, and it also has Wi-Fi and Ethernet. So you can take any of those network connections that are working, bond those signals together, and transmit off to your destination. The bigger one has a larger battery, and it also adds support for 5G. The smaller one only has 4G support. Um, but for the most part, they function the same exact way.
That is great. And can you tell us some of the benefits of using a P3 or a P3 Mini in a house of worship environment? We already talked about mission trips a little bit and some
Mhm.
getaway stuff like that. Can you talk about some of the other benefits?
Yeah. We have the big three. We have flexibility that you're able to go anywhere, indoors, outdoors. If you lose reception to one cell provider, but you have reception to the other, your stream will stay up. And we're definitely one of the most cost-effective bonding encoders on the market. Once it's set up, it's real easy to use. All you do is power it on and hit stream, and off you go.
I don't think it could be much better than that. It's flexible, it's affordable, and it's really easy to use, especially in a house of worship where a lot of people are going to be using these are volunteers who are
Right.
not necessarily tech savvy people. Kiloview makes it easy to be able to stream not just from your house of worship, but anywhere that your congregation may need to stream from. Can you tell us a little bit about the Kilolink Server Pro and how that fits into this P3 and P3 Mini workflow?
Yes, this is one of the requirements for the P3 and P3 Mini. So you would need this for the bonding signal, as I was talking about. So this could be software that you set up on a computer in your church, or it could be online. But it's used to receive that bonding signal. It's also used as fleet management software when you have many Kiloview products, so you can use it to manage all your products.
That is good. And we're noticing that quite a few people are using multiple Kiloview products, so being able to manage them all in one place is great. Can you tell us some of the benefits of the Kilolink Server Pro?
Yeah. So that's again, that's our fleet management software. It'd be for managing many devices. You could push firmware updates to them, check the health on them. But it's also used for the bonding service for pulling in multiple multiple streams.
Great. Now, this is something that was just announced not too long ago, so that's very exciting. Can you tell us about the Kilolink station and what is this thing?
Yeah, sure. So this is a neat little box we put together. It runs that Kiloview Kilolink software. So if you don't want to set up the Kilolink software yourself or you don't have the technical know-how, you can buy this box instead. And the cool thing about it is we offer a version with 4 SDI outputs. So you could hook up 4 P3 minis, be streaming out on the field, receive them back at this station, and all those signals will be in sync. And you can pull those signals right into your production suite.
That is great to hear. Being able to have multiple cameras out in the field, sending them to one box to be able to then potentially even mix into your production that is happening in the house of worship is
Absolutely.
great. Can you tell us about some of the benefits of using the Kilolink station?
Yeah. It's just it'd be simpler for the customer. They don't need to run off and set up their own computer. They can buy this, set it up. There's no subscription fee. A lot of the bonding services out there will charge additional subscription fees. We don't charge any of that. We're just selling the hardware and we'll help you set it up.
That is great to hear. We're talking about being able to make things easy for the end user, making it cost effective, making it volunteer friendly. And I think the Kilolink station checks off a lot of those boxes, especially when you're pairing it with a bonding encoder like the P3 or P3 Mini. Can you walk us through this diagram here for using multiple cameras in a production?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So NDI is one of the network protocols that we specialize in, and it's really designed for multi-camera, multi-destination. So you can bring in up to however many X number of cameras, X number of sources, could be presentation monitors, could be laptops, and then you can go to any of your destinations. It could be streaming platforms, could be, again, multiple monitors throughout the building. We offer a device called the Q-Bar 1 you see in the corner. That's for recording those video streams live. So um, again, just a lot of power and a lot of flexibility and a lot of ease as well. All those streams show up in a list. You check the one you want to use, and you're off and running.
That is exactly right. And I actually do have a Cube R1 right here, and it is able to take up to 9 of the NDI video sources on your network and be able to record onto these hot swappable SSD sticks that you can plug into the front of this. So the Kiloview Cube R1 is a great solution. And in this diagram, you also have the N50/N60, which I have one of those as well right here. I have an N60 in my hand, and this allows you to encode or decode a 4K 60p video via NDI. So that is great as well. And in this example, like you said, taking a camera that is not an NDI compatible camera, but being able to put that video on the network in full 4K 60 with something like the N50 or N60 is great. And then the N5 and N6 allow you to do that in 1080. So a lot of great things. And I realized next slide is just telling more of the same that I just said. So Kiloview Cube R1, N50, N60, N5, N6. The one thing that I didn't talk about was NDI Multiview. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, that is our NDI Multiview software. You can download it, run it on Windows or PC, and we have the trial available today. So you can hop on our website, hit the download link, and you'll be up and running in no time.
That is fantastic. Can you tell us some of the benefits of using something like the N50, N60, or N5, N6?
Sure, yeah. They're just extremely cost effective, simple to set up. They can run on PoE power. They have optimizations for presets, so you can set, camera 1, 2, and 3, and switch between them pretty quickly. So a lot of great benefits to our products.
Absolutely. This is another new and exciting product that was announced from Kiloview not too long ago. Can you tell us about the AVX24-4?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a huge boon to our product line. It's basically an all-in-one device that puts together multiple things. So there's a high performance network switch in there. There's a routing system in there, and there's device management. So it really is targeted at this sector where, again, you might have volunteers running things. You have push buttons to be able to switch your devices, switch your routes, and there are also alerts. So if there's a problem with a device, you can get notified. Hey, this one isn't working, or this one might be stuttering or having issues. And that way you can be up and running and be notified if there could be any potential issues as well.
That is fantastic. We're talking about making things easy, again, for volunteers, for houses of worship. And typically you may have, a couple different N50s or N60s, maybe a couple E3s in there, a Cube R1, and being able to connect them all to the AVX and being able to manage all of those devices all in one place. Again, kudos to Kiloview. Can you tell us about some of the benefits of the AVX?
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's a really powerful device that's targeted towards volunteers or maybe someone who doesn't have high-level technical staff on hand 24/7. And it just puts all the devices in one web interface. So you can log in, you can see all your devices. There's visual diagrams and workflow charts. You're able to see maybe this device is in this room or on this network, and it just really simplifies all of that.
Great. And can you just tell us why Why Kiloview in houses of worship?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, we've been doing this a long time, over 14 years. Our products have gotten really, really solid. So we're able to add additional cameras, add additional screens. We're scalable, easy to use. The results speak for themselves, and again, offered at a price you can't beat.
Again, I like to hear that. Reliable, cost effective, easy to use. I think I'm going to have to write that down. Um, why don't you tell us how people can get more information on Kiloview products, whether it's encoders, decoders, cellular bonding, all of that? Where can they learn more?
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, I want to say our two new products are coming out in April. But if you want more details, hop on our website, kiloview.com. We just launched a new and updated website. It's much better, easier to get around. Everything's pretty clear on there. And then if you have any questions, shoot us an email at info@kiloview.com, and we'll happily get back to you. If you have questions about how to use a product, how it's used in a certain workflow, how it's best for your house of worship, we'll help you out.
That is great. And we're talking about how can we see these new products? I think this is a perfect way to see these new products in action. Can you tell us about what you plan on doing at NAB?
Yeah, yeah. We're at NAB every year. So come find us at our booth number N1467. And you can come chit chat with us, touch our products, check everything out.
And I highly recommend that anybody that has the ability to go to NAB Vegas to check out Kiloview's booth. Seeing these things in action is a sight to be seen. I want to say thank you so much to Kyle for joining us. I always like to give our guests the final word. So, Kyle, the floor is yours. Anything you'd like to say to our audience?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate your time and look forward to working with you in the future.
All right, great. Thank you so much again to Kyle for joining us. We'll have some more content coming up next. Thanks.